All right. I have the great pleasure sitting here with Lars and JJ of the El Caminos. How you doing, gentlemen?
Just fine. How are you?
Awesome. Thanks for being here with us today. So we got a couple of exciting things to talk about. But first, why don't we introduce yourselves? Tell us what you do in the band and how that came to be.
I'm JJ. I sing and write songs for the El Caminos.
And I'm Lars, and play guitar, and I joined the band early June of this year.
Awesome. And you used to be in Motor 76, is this right?
Correct.
And so how did the joining of the El Caminos happen?
Well, we finished up Motor early of this year, early January, and I sort of wasn't doing much and at the time. And Paul called me, I believe, late May, and he told me that they got a show, the Caminos got a show with the Sylvain from the New York Dolls at the Earl coming up at the end of July, and asked me if I wanted to play it. So I said, of course I will. And I've been playing with them ever since.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, so one of the main things we want to talk about is the show coming up with the Misfits this coming Monday at the Masquerade. But first, let's talk a little bit about the history of the band, I guess, and then we'll get into the record. So, JJ, how did the record? I mean, how did the band get started? How long y'all been around? And
the El Caminos. Well, this year's our Sweet 16. So we've been around since around '94, and went through the touring all over the U.S. and we went down to Mexico and did a tour down there. We put out 5 records, and we're going to be working on number 6 with Lars. And it's just been a long, haul, but we just keep kind of somehow or another, we just keep going. We've had a lot of different things happen to the band, ups and downs, like with every rock and roll band. But over the 16-year period, we've been able to kind of maintain a certain quality of rock. And I think, if you look at the history of the band and look at all the records, you can kind of put together the story. And so we're ready to move on and start album number 6 with Lars. And, that's what we're looking forward to in 2011. And
so tell me about the new record. Where are you recording it? How you doing it? And
we're just in the writing phase right now, but I have a studio at my house, and we just go down there and track all the pre-production, at home, and we can take as long as we want, just go writing as many songs as we want. And then we sometimes will get the set list together, and then we'll go over to Jeff Baco's or we'll keep the pre-production tracks if we like them, if they're raw enough, and we're happy with everything. And then we'll just kind of we have another guy that helps us mix the records, and then we take them off to somebody else to have them mastered. And we do everything on our own. We're completely independent and have been since the beginning. So something to be a little bit proud of, I guess.
Sure.
Cool. So why don't we start talking about the Raised by Wolves was your most recent release, which would be your 5th record, I guess you're saying?
Yeah, that's number 5.
Right. So Raised by Wolves, and you did it that same way, just in your basement, and
yeah. Well, we had some of those recordings done prior to a break that we took, and then we came back and wrote the second half, and then re-recorded the whole thing downstairs in the basement, and sent it off to Austin to get mastered. And then back to Atlanta. I mean, to get mixed, and then back to Atlanta to get mastered. And we pressed it. And we have a new pressing coming out, is why we're kind of like bringing it back a little bit. The first pressing was all hand put together, artwork and printed. Everything was printed by us and drawn by us, and actually put together. I sat there and folded 500 pieces of paper and put the little thing on there, and just kind of doing it real old school punk. But we're going to re-release it with jewel cases so we can kind of distribute a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
But so that one's a collector's item.
Yeah, and it's a neat little. It's like a 45 jacket, but then it's got a CD sleeve on the inside. It's got a.
Yeah, we're trying to make it look like a 7-inch or something.
Yeah, that's neat. Okay, well let's hear a track off Raised by Wolves. What are we gonna hear first?
It's called Delirious.
Delirious, and tell me about the song.
It's about how when you're infatuated with someone, sometimes when you get around them, you can't speak, and you're dizzy and you
Delirious, essentially.
Delirious.
All right, well, here is track 4 of Raised by Wolves by El Caminos. The song is Delirious.